Yesterday, thousands of people got a BandLab notification that David released a new song titled Rush, but minutes later, it vanished.
Oh, look at it. That one that's so mean if you don't answer. It's controversial of kids. Bye, guys.
So I can tell you that we did find opiate prescription medication bottles in the house. Now,
I believed we had finished dealing with everything related to David, at least until a suspect was named. But it seems David can't help but worsen the situation. He unexpectedly releases a new song on BandLab, and before anyone has the chance to complete their listen, it disappears. Deleted private. Initially, people believed it was merely another disposable track. But then fans began to observe something unusual, not in Rush, but in a different song titled I Never Needed You. In that one, however, a faint female voice can be heard in the background that is nearly indistinguishable from Celeste's. Not a remix, not a random sample, it's her real voice. At least, that is the belief of those who have drawn comparisons to her viral video from prior to her disappearance. That is now unsettling. We are discussing an individual whose death remains largely unexplained, and he's out here utilizing her voice as if it's included in a song. It lacks artistry. That is simply incorrect. As soon as individuals began to make the connections, the situation appeared even more dubious. Inside his former residence, there's a Build-A-Bear certificate associated with her cousin's name. There is speculation about an opioid operation cover-up that could clarify her presence in that Tesla, as well as a statement from investigators that farm tools were discovered in the same Hollywood Hills residence, tools that were completely out of place. It's not just about a deleted song any longer. It concerns the voice, the clues, the house, and a timeline that appears far too suspicious to ignore. And since we're on the subject of that song, let's discuss Rush. The one that vanished immediately after fans began putting things together. Once people read the lyrics, it ceased to feel like just another track and began to sound like a confession.
Yesterday, thousands of people got a BandLab notification that David released a new song titled Rush, but minutes later, it vanished. The song was apparently created on October 2nd, and some people think it was released on accident, and others think it was on purpose.
Sing de ich datcht. We're word and ease, langsam ink in Lasan. Aber du willst nicht auf mich warten. I just need you to be aware that there are many things I require. As soon as I heard that, my jaw dropped in disbelief. Fit's clearly not the kind of thing you'd expect from a typical love song. He seems to be attempting to justify himself. It's as if he's conversing with someone who expected more from him, and he's justifying his withdrawal. Then he says, first you say you love me, then you say goodbye. I suspected you would abandon me. You're still on my mind both day and night, and I don't care what anyone thinks. That line sounds guilty. His delivery makes it audible. What I found particularly memorable was his incessant repetition of the phrase, "Don't want to waste your time," as though he's not attempting to persuade the listener. He is attempting to persuade himself. It seems as though he is rephrasing events with his own words to make them seem more benign than they were. And if you didn't want the world to scrutinize it excessively, why did you post it on Band? It could have been properly released on streaming platforms, but no. It was as if he wanted to gauge the response while avoiding accountability. When you truly consider how everything coincided, it's simply strange. The body was discovered. The inquiry is still in progress. And rather than remaining quiet out of respect, he's out here provoking danger. However, at the moment when all believed that the situation with the Rush was already bad enough, it deteriorated further. Because in another of his tracks, I Never Needed You, there is a subtle female voice in the background that sounds almost identical to Celeste. You can actually hear it. The pitch, the rhythm, and even her manner of breathing between phrases. It is too particular to dismiss as mere coincidence. And before anyone says, oh, maybe it's just a sample, actual comparisons were made. Using clips from her past live streams and that viral Ring camera video where she was arguing with a neighbor, someone even conducted a mini voice analysis. The correspondence was nearly identical when they compared it to the song.
You don't even got a house. Hey, bro. I'm not Mexican. I'm Salvador and you just tripping.
Oh my god.
Not because you tripping.
That track features a girl's voice saying, "You're the one calling my phone. Your number has been blocked. You keep on calling me and texting me." So that audio could end up being mixed into a professional track. It is more than just creepy. To a victim who can no longer defend herself, this is simply disrespectful. And the worst part was that David never recognized it, never claimed it was a sample. It was never explained why a girl's voice is interwoven into the background. He simply became silent, just as he has been throughout this entire Celeste situation. At this point, it honestly seems like he is trying to keep her voice alive in his music, but not in a way that pays tribute to her. It's as if he is distorting the narrative to imply that she was the one pursuing him, and if that is his action, it represents manipulation at its best. While fans were still wrapping their heads around the whole Celeste voice in his music situation, a private investigator emerged with fresh details. And you all? This section seems like something directly from a film. The name of the investigator is Steve Pfizer. I am certain you have heard me bring him up in the past, as he has been revealing little-known details about this case from the outset. He is collaborating with the owner of the Hollywood Hills house where David was staying. He stated that his discovery within the property could transform people's perceptions of the entire situation. He even shared pictures on X of a Build-A-Bear certificate he found inside the house. Its name is Esmeralda. The day of the month, the 21st of April, 2024. It was at that point that things began to take a strange turn, as Celeste had a cousin named Esmeralda, the very same cousin who assisted her with her GoFundMe campaign and appeared alongside her in those graduation photos.
This photo that everyone has been posting lately, it was taken on May the 30th, 2024. Miss Rivas had attended her cousin Esmeralda's high school graduation. In September, she was seen on video fighting with the neighbors at the Lake Elsinore home. So why didn't any family member notify law enforcement that she was safe? Possibly because they were worried it would trigger a CPS investigation.
Der 21. April, ist ebenfalls, von Bedeutung, da zwei, Wochen, nach dem Taglit, and dem Celeste, als Vermisst, aus Lake Elsinore, Gemel D4vd. Therefore, if the bear was made on the same day, and the certificate found its way to David's rental home, it raises an excessive number of questions. As if things weren't wild enough, Fisher noted that David shared a TikTok on April 21st, the same day he was recorded on a roller coaster at Six Flags, which coincidentally has a Build-A-Bear store. Everyone is now putting the pieces together. On that day, while Celeste was still listed as missing, did he go to Six Flags with her? If that is the case, then this went beyond a mere secret relationship. It begins to resemble a complete timeline cover-up. This is when individuals began to turn against everyone, not only David but also the family. As of now, no one is being completely honest, and it's beginning to seem as though everyone is looking out for their own interests rather than for Celeste. Despite the emergence of various pieces of evidence, the Build-A-Bear clue, the graduation photo, and the timeline debacle, he has yet to be officially designated as a suspect. The police are not labeling it a homicide. They keep mentioning that the autopsy results are pending, which honestly sounds like a euphemism for we don't know what to say yet. But the thing is, as everyone busies themselves with their silence, those who witnessed the discoveries made in that house cannot forget the true darkness of it. Investigators found agricultural implements. Sure, agricultural tools and a high-end Hollywood rental property. I don't even want to think about what might have been in the works. But deep down, you all know we are all considering it. Then, there were the prescription bottles. Opioids which may be legal or not. It is theorized that this was not a calculated murder but rather an accidental overdose that led to a panic. At that point, it is claimed that a cover-up occurred and that her body was found in that Tesla. If that is the case, then several individuals were aware enough to relocate a corpse, conceal the evidence, and create a narrative. And yet, none of them has made a public statement.
My gut tells me I have no inside information on this at all, but my gut tells me the way things are lining up right now, I'm feeling this is probably going to be something like an accidental overdose. And they just made a horrible decision after the fact because they didn't want the relationship to be, to get out there because it would definitely hurt his, career, if not him be criminally charged.
It's as if the truth vanishes every time you expect it to come to light, just like his tracks. He posts, deletes, hides, and somehow the world continues to move on. It was as if this girl didn't even exist. She is gone, of course, and she deserves her rest. However, it breaks your heart. Her life ended far too early. It becomes increasingly frustrating with each day that goes by without a suspect or any concrete progress. In this case, I'm not here to assign blame without evidence, but it's difficult to overlook how many aspects still don't align. Because if Esmeralda was with Celeste during the Six Flags trip while she was listed as missing, then she knows much more about what actually happened than anyone else will. There's still something about this whole affair that feels incomplete. You can't expect the internet to forget after walking away from death and building a career off someone's voice. The questions persist, as does the guilt that looms over this narrative. No matter what transpired that night, the truth remains in silence, awaiting a courageous soul to voice it.